Welcome to Build Strong Habits podcast channel. Sit back, relax, take your eyes off the screen, and listen. Just listen to this audio podcast, and let's start building habits that transform our life.
Ready for a deep dive into a film that'll leave you feeling like you can conquer anything.
I'm ready. Sounds like a good one.
Today we're breaking down The Pursuit of Happiness, and trust me, this isn't just a feel-good story. It digs deep into some pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah, it's more than that. It's about resilience and fatherhood and chasing dreams, even when the odds are totally stacked against you. It's inspiring.
So how about we jump right in and start with that resilience? Chris Gardner, the main character, faces like every obstacle you can imagine. Homelessness, job instability, being a single parent. The guy goes through it all.
And the film doesn't shy away from it either. I mean, that scene where he and his son spend the night in a public bathroom.
Oh man, that scene.
Talk about a visual representation of hitting rock bottom.
It's heartbreaking, but it's also like this incredible testament to his love for his son and his refusal to give up.
Exactly. You really see Chris's dedication to his son's future, no matter what. Even in the face of incredible hardship, he keeps pushing forward.
It's a powerful lesson in resilience.
Yeah.
It's not just about enduring the tough times. It's about actively fighting to make things better.
You got it. And you know, that connects directly to another big theme in the film, the power of belief.
Right. I mean, everyone doubts Chris, but he never seems to doubt himself. Like
Yeah.
he's got this unshakable faith in his own potential.
And that self-belief fuels his entire journey. It's what pushes him to go after this crazy dream of becoming a stockbroker, even though he has no background in finance, no college degree.
Especially back then, that world was not exactly welcoming to someone like Chris. Most people would have written him off.
Totally. But he doesn't listen to the doubters. He just keeps pushing forward. It's a reminder that even when a dream seems impossible, having that inner confidence can make all the difference.
It's like believing in yourself can be its own kind of superpower.
Absolutely. But the film also makes it clear that chasing big dreams often comes with big sacrifices. I mean, Chris leaves a stable job to pursue this uncertain path, and he endures incredible hardships, not just for himself, but for his son.
He's constantly making choices that prioritize his long-term vision over short-term comfort, which can't be easy.
It really forces you to ask yourself, what am I willing to give up to achieve my goals? That's a tough question to consider.
It is, but it's such an important one, isn't it? And it leads us to another powerful aspect of the film that really resonated with me. Fatherhood. The bond between Chris and his son is like the emotional core of the whole story.
Yeah, I agree. Even amidst all the chaos and uncertainty of their situation, they have this beautiful and inspiring connection. You can tell how much they love and support each other.
It shows that fatherhood is about so much more than just providing financially. It's about emotional support and guidance, especially when times are tough.
It's about being present, both physically and emotionally, and showing your child what it means to face adversity with grace and determination.
And Chris does that so well, even in the most difficult situations. Like, remember that scene at the subway station when they're stuck and he turns it into this imaginative game to make his son feel better?
Oh, that's such a great scene.
It just shows how much of an impact a parent can have, even when their own world feels like it's falling apart.
Absolutely. It's about finding those little moments of joy and connection, even when everything else feels overwhelming.
Exactly. And throughout it all, Chris is setting a powerful example for his son about the importance of hard work.
Yeah.
I mean, that unpaid internship, the endless hours of cold calling, his dedication is unreal.
It's a powerful reminder that success doesn't come easy. You have to be willing to put in the time, the effort, the grind. And Chris definitely embodies that. Like, remember that story about how he made it a point to make 40 phone calls before lunch every day?
Wow. Yeah, that's some serious dedication.
Talk about commitment. He was relentless in his pursuit of his goals.
And it's not just about working hard, it's also about knowing how to handle setbacks, which Chris faces a ton of in the film. It seems like every time he takes a step forward, he gets knocked back down.
But that's what makes his story so relatable, right? I mean, who hasn't experienced failure or setbacks in their own life?
True. But what's inspiring about Chris is that he doesn't let those setbacks defeat him. He uses them as opportunities to learn and grow.
Exactly. He doesn't see failure as a dead end. He sees it as a chance to improve, to refine his approach.
Like, there's that scene where he loses a potential sale because of a problem with a bone density scanner he's selling. Most people would be devastated, but Chris uses that experience to rethink and improve his entire sales pitch.
It's a great example of his adaptability, his ability to learn from his mistakes and turn them into something positive. He's constantly evolving, trying to figure out what works and what doesn't.
Which brings us to another key takeaway from the film: adaptability. I mean, Chris goes from selling medical devices to pursuing a career in finance. That's a huge leap.
And it really shows how important it is to be flexible in life, be open to new possibilities, especially when things don't go according to plan.
Yeah, that's so true. It's like he's got this internal compass that keeps pointing him towards growth, even if it means stepping outside his comfort zone.
Yeah.
And speaking of growth, it's amazing how he manages to find joy, even in the midst of all that hardship.
It would have been so easy for him to just get swallowed up by all the negativity, but he chooses to focus on the positive, like those little moments of happiness he shares with his son or those small victories he achieves along the way.
Yeah, exactly. It's like he understands that happiness isn't some destination you arrive at. It's about savoring those little moments, those bright spots as you go through life. And that really makes me think about the film's title, The Pursuit of Happiness.
It's not about achieving some perfect state of bliss, right? It's about the journey itself. It's about appreciating the small wins, the connections you make, the growth you experience along the way.
That's such a good point. And it kind of ties into another key takeaway from the film: the importance of having a long-term vision. I mean, Chris's day-to-day reality is pretty bleak, but he never seems to lose sight of that ultimate goal of becoming a stockbroker.
That vision becomes his anchor,
Yeah.
It's his guiding force through all the ups and downs. It gives him something to hold on to when everything else feels like it's falling apart. And it really makes you think about your own life, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, what are those long-term goals that are driving you forward right now? What are you working towards, even when things feel overwhelming or discouraging?
It's a powerful question to ask yourself, isn't it? And, while it's not explicitly stated in the film, I think Chris's journey really highlights the importance of financial literacy.
Oh, totally. I mean, so much of his struggle stems from a lack of financial stability, and you can see how his pursuit of a career in finance is about more than just getting a job.
It's about gaining knowledge,
Yeah.
developing the skills to create a more secure future for himself and his son.
Exactly. It's about understanding how to manage money, how to save, how to invest. And those are essential tools for anyone who wants to take control of their lives and build a more solid foundation.
And it's a reminder that having that financial literacy can be a game changer, especially when you're facing adversity. But through all the challenges, through all the setbacks, the one thing that remains constant in Chris's story is his persistence. He just never gives up.
He embodies that fall down 7 times, stand up 8 mentality. His story is a powerful testament to the power of sheer willpower. Like, no matter how many times life knocks you down, you get back up and keep fighting for what you believe in.
And that's what makes that final scene so incredibly moving, right?
For sure.
When he finally gets that job,
Yes.
it's like all that hard work, all that sacrifice finally pays off. It's a moment of pure triumph.
Yeah.
And it makes you believe that anything is possible if you just refuse to give up.
It's kind of ending that leaves you feeling so inspired, Like, if Chris can overcome all those obstacles and achieve his dreams, then maybe I can too.
Absolutely. And it brings us back to that idea of resilience we talked about earlier. Chris doesn't just bounce back from adversity. He uses those tough times to fuel his fire.
He doesn't just survive, he thrives.
Yeah, he takes those tough times and uses them to become stronger, to grow as a person.
It's like facing those challenges head on helps him discover a strength he didn't even know he had.
And as we wrap up our deep dive into the pursuit of happiness,
Mhm.
I think it's clear that this film is so much more than just entertainment. It's a powerful reminder of what we're all capable of,
Yeah, it is.
Like, it shows us the power of resilience, the importance of believing in ourselves, and how love can really help us through anything.
It's a story that really gets to the heart of what it means to be human. It's about striving for something better, never giving up on your dreams, and finding those moments of joy even when life feels like an uphill battle.
It's really inspiring. And it leaves us with a question that's worth thinking about,
Yeah.
Like, how can you take these lessons from the pursuit of happiness and actually apply them to your own life? What are those things that are holding you back?
It makes you think, right? What are those fears or doubts that are keeping you from going after what you really want?
That's the challenge, isn't it? To tap into that inner strength, that resilience, that unshakable belief in yourself, and then use those things to chase your goals and face whatever challenges come your way.
Because ultimately, I think the pursuit of happiness is a story about hope.
It's about remembering that even when things feel impossible, There's always a reason to keep going.
And that even in the darkest of times, there's always a light waiting to be found. And you know what?
What's that?
With enough grit and determination and a little bit of love, we can all achieve incredible things. So keep chasing those dreams, folks.
Never give up.
Never give up. And remember, even when things get tough, you have the strength within you to persevere. Keep pushing forward.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Build Strong Habits. Let us know in the comments how you feel about it and what topics you'd love to hear next. Always remember, we're here to build strong habits together.